now on the CTV News at 5. Water rescue training at one of Lethbridge's most dangerous locations. Plus, police issue a charity scam warning where callers claim to be from the Lethbridge Police Association. And Air Canada travelers brace for turbulence as strike action looms.
Telling your stories. CTV News Lethbridge with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. We're glad you could join us today. Lethbridge Fire and Emergency Services Water Rescue Team trains throughout the summer to stay prepared. Well, today they were training at one of the most difficult rescue locations beneath the high-level bridge. Quinn Keenan tells us more.
The water rescue team spent much of the morning training alongside and even climbing the high-level bridge. Fast water, steep terrain, and railway infrastructure make any emergency here especially dangerous.
We've got both the water rescue and the high angle rescue, or the rope rescue team out here. So they're working together. A lot of the members are on both teams, so it works out really well. And it's just a chance to get out on the CPKC bridge.
The training is done in conjunction with CPKC, who own and operate the rail track. LFES needs permission just to train on the bridge. The cooperation between the two helps ensure first responders are prepared.
Some of the members have probably never been on this bridge, so it's a good chance for them to get familiar with it. It's kind of like a pre-plan for our fires, right? So we go out, we scope it out. They've been working on this for a couple of weeks.
It was more than just a training exercise. LFES personnel also took the time to remove ropes that had been hung up so people could jump into the water.
They don't understand the dangers here. This bridge is the property of CPKC and it is private property. So for individuals who are entering or climbing on that bridge, they're actually trespassing. We don't want that. It's unsafe.
It's an especially dangerous area to swim. Below the water is barbed wire, concrete with exposed rebar, large rocks, and tree debris. LFES works to clear out as much as they can, but the best advice is to avoid swimming under the bridge.
It's a very inviting river, but this is not a playground. This is a very dangerous spot within the river. With all the hazards you see around us and what you can't see below us, we ask people stay away from this area. It is not a safe area.
Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
The city of Lethbridge has declared a fire ban in the River Valley despite a wet July and August. The ban extends to the fire pits and barbecues set up in the valley. Recent warm temperatures and a dry forecast prompted the ban. High winds can help any fire that starts to make that fire spread fast. The city is reminding residents just because something looks green doesn't mean it won't catch fire quickly.
The River Valley fire ban is back into effect. I am not definitely saying that we won't lift it again. You never know. I have been looking at the forecast for the rest of this month. It doesn't look promising, but we will keep an eye on it. We monitor it every day.
The ban only applies to the River Valley. Backyard fire pits are still allowed, but should be used cautiously.
There's no people that want to do more about wildfires than Canadians. We are being affected every day in very severe ways. We've seen this in the smoke that clogs our cities. We've seen this in our communities that are evacuated.
The federal government is now pledging an extra $45.7 million for wildfire prevention and risk assessment projects. The money will go to 30 research projects nationwide with the hopes of also improving fire knowledge and forestry practices. The groups running the projects include nonprofits, private organizations, provincial governments, and Indigenous groups, including the Blood Tribe. There are now nearly 730 wildfires burning across Canada. This is the second worst wildfire season on record. City police are warning the public about an ongoing phone scam where callers claim to be from the Lethbridge Police Association. Several citizens have reported receiving phone calls from people claiming to be with the LPA, soliciting donations in support of veterans and injured police officers. The phone numbers being used are spoofed, meaning the caller ID displayed has been altered. Neither Lethbridge Police, Fire and Emergency Services nor the Legion are affiliated with the scam in any way and will not solicit donations over the phone. Police say if you do receive one of these calls, hang up and delete suspicious text messages and emails without opening any attachments. Anyone who has fallen victim to the scam is asked to contact police. A Calgary pastor is charged with 3 counts of voyeurism. Police allege 68-year-old Brad Dewar filmed women staying at his home without their consent or knowledge. The investigation began when police were notified intimate photos and videos of women were found on the homeowner's tablet. Police searched a Calgary residence and seized multiple electronic devices containing 1,500 intimate photos and 19 videos. Investigators believe there are at least 3 victims. Police say between 2016 and 2025, Dewar provided short-term lodging to women he met through his church position. And Dewar is accused of using multiple devices to record them. Dewar is due in court next month. Danielle Savoni joins us. And Danielle, we've got some active weather happening in southern Alberta.
Yeah, some serious weather to talk about, or the potential of it anyway. So I will say this, the biggest risk of more dangerous weather is now off into Saskatchewan, as you can see here. But there is development still happening, and the key thing is rotation is possible in some areas with some of these storms. So really from Brooks down Trans-Canada over to areas just north of Medicine Hat, and then up through Empress, Provost. These areas are under a tornado watch. And then as you can see in the darker red here, to the east of Empress, this area is under tornado warning at this point, which meaning most likely something has touched down at this point. And many other communities over to Vulcan and even including Medicine Hat under a severe thunderstorm watch. So there is the potential. Again, the worst of it is now off into Saskatchewan, but things could bubble up pretty quickly throughout the next couple of hours. It's 32 degrees. We have the heat. We have that fuel that we need for that kind of potential. 32 in Lethbridge, Milk River, 35 in Medicine Hat. It's going to cool down. I'll show you that coming up, Jackie.
All right, thanks, Danielle. Air Canada and its flight attendants are counting down to a strike, and the airline will cancel flights as early as tomorrow. CUPE, the union that represents flight attendants, served 72-hour strike notice around 1 o'clock this morning. Air Canada then followed with a lockout notice. The airline says it reached an impasse with the union in talks yesterday. CUPE says it declined an Air Canada proposal to enter a binding arbitration process to secure a new contract. Flight attendants are only paid for when the plane is in flight. Now, they want to be paid when they start on the job. The town of Fort Macleod is one step closer to getting Highway 3 realigned on the east side of town to help with traffic flow, ease confusion, and increase safety. The province announced funding to complete the planning and engineering phase of the project. The announcement comes as the twinning of Highway 3 continues, which, as Carson Marsouk reports, is on time and on budget.
$1 million is being invested to plan and engineer the realignment of 3 kilometers on Highway 3 east of Fort Macleod.
It will provide a lot of greater access into the community and options for economic development in the area.
The realignment will be designed to lessen confusion of the current roadway, increase safety, and one day join the Highway 3 bypass.
The alignment here would pull both lanes of traffic farther to the south and then opening up the land that's on the north side for more commercial development and industrial development in the future.
The mayor admits future plans to build a bypass around the town is a sensitive topic, but he says it will be necessary as the town continues to grow. In the last 5 years, the mayor says the town has grown by 20%.
That's why we're not intent on pushing for the full bypass, but at some point traffic numbers will dictate that it has to go around town just for the safety.
The mayor says there is no timeline as to when a bypass will be constructed, and no plans have been created yet. The realignment is part of a larger project to twin Highway 3 from Medicine Hat to the Crow's Nest Pass. The province broke ground on Phase 1 between Taber and Burdett in May 2024.
33 kilometers already of new base is in place. Obviously, they have to pave that now, so it is on time and on budget for that first step. And obviously, the other stages of the Highway 3 twinning are taking some time. There's still land purchases, environmental permits, and public consultations that still needs to go.
The minister says Highway 3 is a priority for the province, with roughly 4,000 vehicles traveling the road each day.
Every single resident in Fort Macleod will benefit from this, and really wonderful news for us.
Construction of the realignment is expected to start in the new year. Carson Marsouk, CTV News, Fort Macleod.
Lethbridge Polytechnic has received $1.75 million in grant funding. The money comes from the Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council of Canada. The grant will cover a 5-year period. It will go to the Polytechnic Centre for Applied Research, Innovation and Entrepreneurship. The funding will help grow the Integrated Agriculture Technology Centre. Now, the centre supports agricultural producers in southern Alberta through applied research, consultation and problem solving.
The money is intended to go where industry needs the research to go. So it helps us support industry with what's emerging for them and what's priorities for them.
It's pivotal for what we do. It's really the difference between not being able to provide any services for the industry and actually progressing into the next 5 years and really addressing industry challenges and needs.
This is the second time the Polytechnic has received this particular grant. A model from southern Alberta has been crowned Miss Universe Canada. Jamie Vandenberg took home the title this past weekend in Windsor, Ontario. She was one of 5 finalists in the running. Vandenberg grew up in Coaldale before attending the University of Lethbridge to study philosophy. For the past 4 years, she's worked with Calgary's Mode Models and has modeled around the globe. She will now represent Canada in November at the Miss Universe pageant in Thailand. Still ahead, Danielle is back with that 5-day forecast right after this break. Plus, we have the latest evidence about the power of music and the positive impact on our health, specifically cognitive aging. We're back in 2 minutes.
All right, we have some active weather to talk about. Before we get into that, the key thing is we have the lift because of the cold front moving through, and we certainly have the heat. All of those combined that can produce some very, very active weather. Now, it's not too hot in Calgary, 22 degrees. Further to the south, of course, and I'll show you that in just a second here. Regina, 29 is the daytime high so far. And of course, out east, they've been dealing with that excessive heat, but it's starting to tone down a bit. 29 in Ottawa, 30 in Toronto, and the humidity is getting a little better out there anyway. Okay, speaking of some heat, here we go. 34 in Medicine Hat, 32 in Milk River, 31 in Lethbridge. So we're into the 30s. It feels a couple degrees warmer than that because when you add a little bit of humidity. Key thing to talk about, and we talked about the thunderstorm watch that's in place. We've also talked about the tornado watch that was in place. That has since been dropped. So that's a good thing. But keep in mind, these storms that are rolling through over this next little bit, over these next couple of hours, if you do get that, these are storms to take seriously, absolutely. Larger size hail, gusts up to 90 kilometers per hour, and even the potential for rotation still, I would say, lasts for the next couple hours as well. The warnings and watches have now been moved off into Saskatchewan, but the severe thunderstorm watch still remains in place here, as you can see. All right, so when we have, again, that heat into the 30s, we have the storms that are moving through. We have this cold front that's been pushing through, and that's that lift we need. So when we have the lift and the heat, there we go. The key thing also for this cold front is going to cool things down significantly by tomorrow. So most communities will be about 10 to 12 degrees cooler tomorrow in comparison to the temperatures we have today. So there's that very, very active weather and the worst line of more active storms off into Saskatchewan now, but there's more development off to the west, and there's still potential as we go through these next few hours especially. It's been a gusty day. We talked about the gusts. 67 kilometers per hour is the maximum wind gust so far in Pincher Creek, and into the 50s for Lethbridge and Medicine Hat. It should tame down by tomorrow, but it will still be quite gusty all the way up until about midnight is the potential. When we talk about the active weather that's potential through the overnight hours, really it should tame down to just isolated pockets of rain, maybe a non-severe thunderstorm embedded in this, but this is a look at 1:30 in the morning. So south of Calgary, over through Pincher Creek, Crozes Pass to Lethbridge to Medicine Hat. We have that potential for isolated showers in the overnight hours, and they could carry into early morning as well. This is a look at 7:30 in the morning. So don't be surprised to see some raindrops out there. It doesn't look like it will be very significant. It may be a quick burst of rain, but it should tone down pretty quickly and move out pretty quickly. When we look at Friday, we have the potential for showers as well into early Friday morning, but then Friday throughout the day, mainly just holding on to a good chunk of cloud cover. Okay, East Kootenay area, 25 degrees for tomorrow. We're looking at the chance of thunderstorms, and you'll see a good amount of cloud cover. It will also be a little smoky tonight, but that should improve by tomorrow. Gusty tonight up to 70 kilometers per hour in Crozes Pass area, but it should quiet down by the midnight hour. Tomorrow there's a chance of a late day thunderstorm and just a high of 18. When you look at Medicine Hat, just a high of 23 with some showers, but the winds will calm down and the showers should be in the morning hours. And similar thing for Lethbridge, cloudy AM showers and just a high of 20. We'll bounce back to those higher 20s by the weekend.
The spread of measles appears to be slowing down, but it hasn't stopped yet. Alberta Health Services reporting 4 new confirmed cases today, 2 in the south, 2 in the north. Provincially, there are 1,745 cases since the outbreak began in March. The best protection against the highly transmissible disease is 2 doses of the MMR vaccine. Now, it's been said music is food for the soul, but it also appears to be feeding your brain. That's according to a new study in Toronto that found playing an instrument may protect against cognitive aging. CTV's Pauline Chan reports.
I've been playing piano since kindergarten.
The study by Claude Alain and others involved measuring the brain activity of 25 older musicians, 25 older non-musicians, and 24 young non-musicians using MRI.
One has to do with looking at the benefit of musical training and to what extent it improves perceptual and cognitive function in young adults, for example.
Normal aging is typically associated with declines in sensory and cognitive functions, and those age-related changes are usually accompanied by increased neural activity.
The finding was quite surprising. We thought that maybe what will happen with music training is that older adults may have more efficient activity and may even generate more activity that we thought could index some compensatory mechanisms. But what we found was the opposite.
In other words, the brain activity in older musicians did not have to increase to perform certain cognitive tasks. It remained more like that of a young adult.
Music training is helping you keep a younger brain.
I try actually to play a lot of the songs that I know in different styles. I'll play like a slower waltz thing in a rock and roll style.
And the research indicates that even years after musical training, the brain retains cognitive benefits. And even when music training starts late in life, it still helps, as do other lifestyle choices, such as learning a new language.
This is, I think, very exciting because you can imagine in terms of education that we should probably have music class the same way we have gym class, for example.
For Richard Parnes, the benefits are first of all enjoyment for himself and his audience, but the brain benefits are certainly welcome. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
The Alberta Indigenous Games are underway in Edmonton. When we come back, we'll introduce you to one of the more traditional events called hand games. Stay with us. Starting on the Ball Diamond, where the Regina Red Sox have advanced to the WCBL Championship. The Sox scored 3 runs in the top of the 7th to help lift them to a 6-2 win over the Saskatoon Berries in Game 3 of the East Division Finals last night. Red Sox take on the Sylvan Lake Gulls in Game 1 of the WCBL Finals tomorrow in Regina. In the majors, the Toronto Blue Jays opened a new homestand with a big win.
Ernie, who hits a fly ball pretty well tagged to left field. Cap's going to turn and watch it go.
Ernie Clement's 3-run homer was his 3rd homer in 3 games as the Jays become the first AL team to hit 70 wins this year. His massive homer was possibly not even the highlight of the night. Bo Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. combined for a highlight reel play at first base in the 4th inning. There was also this special tribute to a Blue Jays icon.
Blue Jays in welcoming back a familiar voice we all know and love, Buck Martinez, back in the booth.
The beloved Jays broadcaster had been away for cancer treatment. Buck Martinez returned to the booth on Friday when the Jays were in LA, but this was Toronto's first time welcoming him back since he stepped away in May. The Jays play their 2nd game of a 3-game series with the Cubs tonight. Well, today would have been NHL hockey star Johnny Gaudreau's 32nd birthday. His widow is taking the occasion to publicly launch a foundation honoring Gaudreau and his brother Matty. Meredith and Madeline Gaudreau appeared on Good Morning America to speak about the foundation. Former Calgary Flame Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matty were killed nearly a year ago. They were cycling in New Jersey when a suspected drunk driver hit them. Meredith revealed at Johnny's funeral that she was expecting and on April 1st gave birth to their 3rd child, Carter Michael Gaudreau. The foundation is dedicated to reducing costs for families involved in hockey, supporting hockey families that have faced tragedy, and helping other families that have been affected by drunk driving. Thousands of children from across Alberta are in Edmonton this week, participating in the Alberta Indigenous Games. Sports include being flag football, golf, and beach volleyball. As CTV's Merrick Takash reports, one of them is a more traditional event.
The concept of hand games might seem complicated at first.
Put your hand like this, and people get to guess what side is the thing you're holding, and if it's right, you show them, but if it's wrong, you show the other side.
The game has been around for generations. Originally, it was used as a way to barter for food and supplies.
You got the corn, we've got this. You've got the buffalo hides, we've got this. So we played those games, and most of the times they were one-on-one.
Now it's being played for a 6th year in a row at the Alberta Indigenous Games in a team format.
We've been able to share it with many, many nations. And so the favorite part is seeing all of those youth that come that have no clue what they're doing, and then when they're done, they're addicted and they want more.
12 First Nations are competing against each other for the ultimate crown. Some participants are as young as 8 years old.
I like the music that they play with the drums. It's fun because I get to play against other people.
In some northern communities, women are not allowed to play hand games.
As time evolves, it's absolutely beautiful, and I believe that it's very respectful that the women are allowed in that circle to be able to do that.
This week at the Indigenous Games, girls are a part of almost every team.
I think that it's not true because girls are so good at hand games, more than boys.
Merrick Takash, CTV News, Edmonton.
Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, a real-life cat burglar on the prowl. What has 9 lives and an expensive taste for crime? An actual cat burglar in New Zealand known as Leonardo da Vinci, who keeps swiping pricey items from his neighbors.
He's definitely going into people's houses because he went into our neighbour's house for he claimed a $300 cashmere jersey, and my daughter was at home sick and she rang me at work saying, it's bad, this is the worst thing he's brought in, it's really bad.
She says she uses a local WhatsApp group and social media to help her neighbors reclaim Leo's ill-gotten gains. Over the past 9 months, Leo has brought home 150 pilfered items, the largest being a 5-foot-long stuffed toy snake. That is one very busy cat. Well, thank you for sharing this time with us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.